Hello there, my beautiful souls. My name is Hunter from Hunter's Healing Heart. I'm a health, wellness, and ascension coach, helping you step into your highest frequency, vibration, and truth. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about how to build your partner up, how to build people up around you. And that's what it's about, guys. If you want to be remembered, it's about giving. It's about giving and giving and giving. It's not about taking. It's not what you could get from people. And in order to do that, guys, you have to cultivate that internally, right? So before we even begin, there's a few practices and knowledges that you have to have before you could authentically really show up for your partner. And one, ego. You have to get that out of the way. It's not about winning. It's not about competition. It's not about I'm right, you're wrong. It's about what's the highest truth within the relationship. And that times means your truth is going to be right, and at times it means your woman's truth is going to be right. But how can you get there together as a unit, collaboration, unity, teamwork? That will bring your relationship to the next level, guys, because both of you are seen, heard, and honored, and you're going to help each other grow, help each other evolve, and to step into that fullness. And the authentic giving, guys, is you're giving because that's who you are. There is no expectation with it. You're not hoping to receive something. You are doing it because that is who you are. And also, guys, when you cultivate the state of abundance within yourself, that's when you can authentically give. You cannot authentically give if you are very depleted, low, or expecting something. So it all comes back to, guys, the relationship with yourself. Always, 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 in any field of endeavor or healing, it all starts with you, right? So what is the relationship towards yourself? What is the relationship towards yourself? Because what needs to happen, guys, is you have light, you have darkness, you have shadows. It's full spectrum, and it's how you honor both of those, guys, right? And the more that you begin to do that journey internally with yourself, right, and honor your gifts, what you're amazing at, what you're spectacular at, and you praise it within yourself, you appreciate it, that is going to allow you to do that for other people, right? And then you have your negative traits, your qualities, and those shadows within you. How you treat those inside yourself is going to be reflected externally, right? And so, for example, and a little bit of a story time, in my trauma, when I was at my worst and I was unconscious of a lot of it, I didn't know what was beneath the surface. I have some cold brew coffee, and it is exceptional. And as a side note, guys, cold brew coffee, if you guys don't tolerate coffee that well because of your gut, this is a lot less acidic. So typically, if you have gut issues, you're able to handle cold brew coffee, but the caffeine content is higher, so you might not be able to have as much, but that way you still get to enjoy that delicious coffee flavor. Anyway, I've digressed, and going back to the relationship with yourself. And at that time in my trauma, I hated myself. I absolutely despised myself. I thought I was unworthy. I wasn't good enough. And that really manifested a lot externally, because I would self-sabotage relationships, reflections that would be anything other than that. And at that time, I wasn't in a position to give to people. I had to take, and I did this manipulatively, and I wasn't necessarily proud of that. But that was my journey, and it took a lot of inner healing work, satisfying those needs within myself for that to become abundant and true, and approaching it layer by layer and loving all those parts of yourself, guys. That is the key. No matter what comes up, you still love it. And it doesn't mean that, you accept it and be the victim. You get to work with it, but yeah, it all starts with love and acceptance, guys. No matter how dark, twisted, messed up you are, those parts. And once you go on that journey, guys, the beautiful part is to see how you show up for other people. And it's truly profound when other people's woundings come up, when other people's triggers come up, and you could hold space for them. Absolutely profound. Your connections and your authenticity, guys, is going to rise as you do the work. And so now we're going to go to this next part, is people's behaviors, right? And this is where expectation, so to speak. And the key is, guys, we all have those different parts, the good, the bad, the light, the dark. And so what you want to do And it's a little tricky, and you have to really get to know someone, right? Because if you start with like, this is the expectation, this is what we're going towards, it's very controlling. And even though you're painting people in a really good light, that's not who they are, and they haven't stepped into that yet. And it creates a lot of pressure, and it's not fair to that other person, right? So you can't just honor the good and the highest vision. That will be destructive. And also when people's bad behavior comes out, guys, because it's gonna happen, it's human, it's not getting caught up in that, but you still address it. And this is where tough love comes in, guys. This is where boundaries come in. This is where speaking your truth comes in. And you could do that in a way that's so beautiful and very calm, very centered, and very respectful. That is the key, guys, because most people aren't doing it consciously. They're doing it unconsciously through their wounding or their programming. So if you could just lead with love, lead with compassion in those moments, it's going to be profound, right? And so when that experience happens and there's wounding coming up, just sit with it and really curiosity, questions, and then go deeper, and then hold your boundaries, do the tough love, and then, guys, give them the vision of what they could be, what you're working towards. So that way they could say, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm fully loved and accepted here. Here's the boundaries that have been placed, and now here's the vision, guys, right? So that's one piece of the puzzle. But then the most important piece, guys, is how people show up in the moment. And this is when you catch them good, right? This is what you want to do. You want to just be patient, allow people to show up. But then when they do show up, right, and they engage in a behavior that is connecting, long-lasting, really fulfilling to you, that is your moment. That is your moment to praise them. That is your moment to appreciate them. And the more often you do that, it's going to create this momentum of them stepping into that, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. But what you want to do, guys, is it's a mixture of what's fulfilling for your life, right? What's helping you, but also, and more importantly, what is going to help them step into their fullness. Putting the ego aside, doing what's best for the relationship, and not only making sure it's in your highest calling, but their highest calling as well. And that will create a really strong momentum for them to step into their fullness, step into who they were meant to become. And it is so profound as that momentum builds and it becomes more natural, and that confidence comes within that person. Absolutely beautiful, 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 beautiful. And when you catch it, guys, and you give praise, you give words of affirmation, appreciation, next is to reward that behavior, right? Because you just said words, which are great, but actions, 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 actions. And this is where love languages come in, guys. And if you could have this conversation with your partner, it'll go to a whole nother level, because we all receive and honor love different. Some people, it's going to be touch. They like being touched, hugged, kissed, sexual intimacy, more physical intimacy. It could be words of affirmation, which we pretty much just touched on. It could be presence, being fully present in the moment, which you should be anyway. It could be gift giving. Hey, I'm going to give you this gift. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And then acts of service, guys, going above and beyond to help your partner out. And if you know what their love language is, guys, that will just really allow you guys to connect deeper and honor that behavior that just happened. Very profound, very beautiful. And if you're not sure, you don't want to have the conversation, typically what people give you, that's what they want in return in terms of their love, in terms of what they need within their body. So whatever people give you, just say, oh, they give me a lot of gifts. I bet you they want to receive gifts. Or, oh, they're very present with me. They would love to receive that in return. And so that is it in a nutshell, guys. And going over it, you got to cultivate a couple mindsets. Ego dissolvement, you don't want that. Or you want the ego dissolvement, but doing what's best for the highest truth in the relationship. Not about winning, and authentically giving, because your cup is so full. And then it's always starts with you, guys. It always starts with you, and building the relationship with yourself. The good and the bad, right? Building more the good, praising it, and the bad, loving it, accepting it, and then allowing it to wither away with love, not activating it and going down those feedback paths. And then with your partner, don't go crazy with the bad. When it comes up, just honor it, love it, and then set those boundaries and have the vision of what you're doing. And with the good guys, you can't just put this vision always in their head, because that's controlling and it's not creating freedom in the moment. But then when the behavior happens naturally, appreciate it, praise it, and then do the love languages, right? And then you guys will have a beautiful relationship and you're building each other up. And that is what empowering relationships are meant to do. They're meant to build you up. So we're stepping into our fullness together as a team and as a union. I do offer one-on-one coaching, guys, so you guys could step into your fullest self, really become who you are meant to be. We'll figure out what your disempowerments are within the mind, the body, the spirit. We'll wither those away through a bunch of different healing techniques. And then, guys, I will hold you accountable for what we're putting in, what we're creating, what we're stepping into, because the world needs your best. Always choose your light and empowerment. Blessings and much love.